Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to Nick's Veggie Patch. Now from my garden. As you may remember, in the last episode that I released, I told you I'd given up my allotment and the role of the warden and was going to be doing everything from the garden. So today's video comes from my garden, and I'm going to be showing you what I've done. I've started on a new project. I'm going to be getting things ready for next year's growing season, but even the growing season now, because you can still sow stuff and get stuff planted out. And I'll show you some of the areas where I had all my chilies and what they're looking like. So I will come back to you guys in a minute. Right guys, so yeah, as I said, I've been working on a new project, and I've decided to build myself a cold frame stroke new raised bed. So in my garden, as you may recall, up against the back of my house to where our living room window is, I've got one of those raised beds where it all clicks together, and I put sweet corn in there. Don't think anything materialised of the sweet corn, even though they've grown really high. I don't think there's any sweet corn on there. I don't know why, but below it, obviously, I've got a storage bin next to it, but I wanted another raised bed. I did buy a raised bed off of a website. It's like a cloth format. It's got 8 compartments. You fill it with compost, and then you plant or sow stuff or plant stuff in it. I didn't really like it, so I've pulled that away. So I decided to work on a new project, and that was to build a cold frame slash new raised bed. So I've built it. I was going to do a video showing you me building it, but I've not had time, so I've just had to get it together. I've built it out of an old pallet. So not far from where I work, there's a company next to us that get rid of pallets. Anyone can take them as long as they leave their area tidy. They had this amazing pallet. I took it and I've turned it into a raised bed, obviously stroke cold frame. The only bit I've got to finish off is obviously to build the kind of glass sort of frame bit, where it's going to be plastic, clear plastic, to put over the top. So for now, I'm going to utilize it as a raised bed, and I've got about 3 or 4 items that are ready to go in there, and hopefully they will give me an autumn crop come sort of early kind of spring crop. So I've got things in there like I've got some lettuce to go in there, I've got some leeks to go in there, I've got some Brussels sprouts and some cabbages. I will take and show you what it looks like. Obviously it's raining outside at the moment, so I'm under my patio, but I've put an umbrella up so I can show you what I've made. And as I also said, I'll be showing you how well my chilies came on and how well some of our other bits and pieces are coming on. Some of the raised beds don't look as good as they should, because I haven't had a chance to weed a couple. But one of the raised beds is full of tomatoes, which we were really happy about. But now, obviously, where I'm not doing the allotment or the warden's role, it's given me the opportunity to concentrate on our garden with the wife. So what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to put the video on pause, and I'll take you and show you the raised bed stroke cold frame that I've built, and I'll also show you what's going to be going in there. So I'll come back to you guys in a minute. Right guys, as you can see, this is the cold frame stroke raised bed that I've made using a really good pallet. I made obviously 4 kind of sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then utilised a couple of remaining pallet slats that were left. I've kept one of them long, just cut a little bit off of the end of it, going long ways as you can see, and then the other slat, cut it in half, and now it makes 4 compartments. It's got compost in it. What will probably happen is I will probably add a bit more compost, plant the things in it for now, and then obviously, obviously next year it will, or maybe this year once they've all finished, we've harvested them, it will then become obviously the place where I'll be able to grow stuff and keep it nice and warm, and then eventually I'll put the lid on it. I'll put a lid on it, and then utilize it as a cold frame. What I'll probably even do, I'll probably even put stuff in there that doesn't grow so high, because I might even make the lid a little bit higher, and then still keep some of the compost in there, but obviously utilize it as kind of a raised bed stroke cold frame. So some of that compost will probably move from some of those over to there, but still kind of give me a bit of both worlds. But yeah, I've got to make the lid. It's probably going to be a plastic lid, put on some wooden little sort of boards, and then utilize it obviously as a cold frame. But there you go guys, that's what it looks like. I've got some things in the greenhouse that are going to go out, and I've also got some really fine mesh in this bag, and I've got some little sort of poles, and I'm going to make that as a tunnel, kind of put it over the top to stop my cats or any birds getting to what I need to get to. I'll show you something similar that I've done on one of my other raised beds, and I'll show you a raised bed that I built, a new one, and then I'll show you the other raised beds and show you what they're like, and then I'll also give you a little bit of a tour of how our garden is kind of slowly taking shape, and I'll show you the other bits and pieces. As you can see at the back, I've got the sweet corn. I don't think they've amounted to anything, so we'll see what happens when I look at them in a minute. Obviously storage bin next to it. It's all on the patio area we built that we put the greenhouse on. There's my cat in the way, but yeah, I'll show you the rest of the garden in a minute guys, and show you what I plan to do with this obviously raised bed stroke cold frame by putting a cover over it. So I'll come back to you guys in a minute. So just showing you this raised bed. This is a new raised bed I made. It's a boxed raised bed, and it was made using patio boards. So I went down to a local DIY centre. I brought some patio boards, measured them, cut them to size, and then what I've done is just placed it directly onto the concrete there. But I've put, as you can see, I put black sheeting underneath. I've just got to trim that bit up, but what I was thinking of doing was building another little box, making another sort of raised bed just to go in this sort of gap here, and using the black sheeting there to stop the weeds from coming up. In this raised bed I have leeks and I have black kale. I think it's Cavallonero, or it maybe just sort of black kale. That's in and growing really nice. That is undercover, and these are like mini little rods you can buy. I got them off of Timo. They work really well. You get the little brackets to put the rods in and the little clips hold your netting over. I've had the netting lying about, so I've covered that over to stop the cats and anything else from getting in. And as you can see, I'll just take you forward a little bit. As you can see, it's all coming along really nicely in there. So we should have some nice kale in the autumn months, even over Christmas. As you can see, the leeks are doing nicely as well. When they were planted, I drilled some holes in the soil there and then just plonked the leek in. Didn't cover it over, just plonked the leek straight in. It's perfectly fine, and I've been watering them, and then eventually as they start to grow, they'll just grow out and they'll kind of cover the hole that you made. I made a good size hole. There's some really good leeks in there. I say I've got some more leeks to go out. They're going to go in that new raised bed stroke cold frame I built. So yeah, that one there is to give you an idea of the netting kind of I'm using, but I'm using white netting there. And as I said, another raised bed is probably going to go there, small box. These are my other raised beds, as you know, that we put up. The middle one, I've got lovely tomatoes growing, lots of tomatoes. So that's abundance at the moment that we're harvesting quite regularly. In the other two raised beds, well, this one here we had spinach, but that's all gone now. So it's going to be a question of taking off the netting, weeding it. In the raised bed in the corner there, we were meant to have runner beans and a few other bits and pieces, but the slugs and the snails blitzed my runner beans this year. So next year I'm going to put slug traps in there to stop them from getting at my crops. So those two raised beds will be closed down. This one will be closed down when all the tomatoes have been harvested. But yeah, lots of tomatoes I'm giving away to family and friends. But that's that side of the garden, and I'll give you a proper guided tour in a minute, guys, when I've planted stuff in that new raised bed. Okay guys, I've just planted the cabbages. These are Sweetheart, and the variety are called Regency F1. So if you get enough F1 variety, and on certain vegetables, some people try and save the seeds. With F1 varieties, it's not always great to save the seeds and reuse them, but yeah, as I've said, this is a Sweetheart variety and it's called Regency F1. So cabbages are in. I've just got the other bits and pieces to go in, and I'll show you the finished article. Okay guys, so put the lettuce in at the back, obviously next to the cabbage. And this is baby leaf mixed lettuce. So I should get hopefully some bright, vibrant red and green colours. And then we, once it's covered over, I will have, hopefully, fingers crossed, some salad that I can pick in the autumn months. They probably won't last much longer than a few months, but providing they've got enough protection over them, and they're well watered. We should get enough off of them to obviously go for quite a while. And then all I've got left to plant out is my leeks and my Brussels sprouts. Okay guys, so that's the last of the bits I finished up planting. So I've got Brussels sprouts in on the left hand side, and they are a variety called Brilliant F1. And then this year I've gone for a new variety of leek, and they're called Jolent. Now with leeks, same as beetroot, leeks like to be with their mates, their friends. So I haven't really split, I've kind of split them apart from where they were, as in how they grew, but I've kind of kept them as kind of bunches, so 3 or 4 leeks to a thing, and then planted them in, because like beetroot, they like to be with their mates. And then what you can do is when they start to mature and grow, if some are bigger than others, you can say twist off the big ones, leave the rest growing. If you like smaller leeks, which can be, say, more tender, and for me kind of they don't have the full pungency of what a full grown leek is, then you can take them off when they're nice and small. So the next thing to do now is to cover this over with the netting, water it, and we're all done, guys. And I'll come back to you in a bit when it's all covered over and I've watered it. Right, there we go, guys. There's the finished article. I've used my tiny little poles and my clear netting, netted it over, so hopefully now nothing will be able to get in there. My cats won't be able to get in there, slugs won't be able to get in there. I'll be able to water it. Job done. Right guys, so I'm just finishing up here, and I just thought I'd show you all my chili plants and my peppers, and also some lovely aubergines on my aubergine plant. You can see just there, lovely white variety of aubergines. We've harvested one, it was quite big, and the missus had it with a roast dinner. She said it was really nice. I've got a couple of vegetable recipe books in the house, and we've chosen a couple of recipes from that. So here is some more of my chilies. Lovely looking chili plants there. I've harvested loads of chilies from there. I've got my little herb bed next to them. There's not many herbs in there at the moment, but I've also got some herbs that I've planted in the pot underneath there. And then I've got some catnip for my cats. But yeah, as you can see, guys, it's not too bad looking up here at the moment. Lots still happening. And hopefully we'll get some more veggies and some veggies, chilies, peppers that I've got growing on there. There's some really big peppers. Just trying to find a good spot to make them out. Oh, so there you go, guys, some wonderful peppers growing on there. Some lovely peppers on there, lots of chilies. There's also some fabulous chilies on one of these plants here as well. But as you can see, yeah, it's all looking good, guys. Very pleased with it this time, and hopefully we'll have an even better growing season next year, because I won't be concentrating on the allotment or doing my former role as the warden. Okay guys, that's it for another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch. As I say, it's a long overdue waited one. If you enjoy watching my videos, then hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, and hit the like button in the bottom of the corner to like all my videos. And I'll see you again soon guys. Bye for now.